This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
It has been a very cold start to the new month. Temperatures were at a record low earlier today.
And tonight the big chill continues, but at least it's dry, and if you bundle up, you can enjoy a crisp fall evening. Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins here along with Amanda Starantino and Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Temperatures dipping.
Yeah, it's like going back to the 1870s this morning. 1879 to be specific. That's the record that we tied in Indianapolis as we dropped to 24 degrees. It won't be that cold tomorrow morning, but we'll still drop below freezing. We made a nice recovery from temperatures as cold as 23 in Peru, 24 in the metro area. Remember, we had the snow, the wind, the falling temperatures last night. As skies cleared and the wind calmed down, coldest air dropped to ground level. 41, that's our current temperature. We've lost 4 degrees in the last hour. Just shows you how important that sun angle is this time of year. In the 30s now in Peru, low 40s Bloomington, Terre Haute at 43. There's the wind, much calmer. Yesterday, gusts to 40 miles per hour. This evening, generally 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the southwest. There's some snow off to the northwest. Another cold front tomorrow. Maybe a little rain-snow mix in a narrow band tomorrow morning. Otherwise, should be a pretty good weekend. There's the orange glow from Putnam County and DePaul University. Temperatures tonight for football games definitely need the heavier coat. Down to 36 by the time we get to halftime or beyond. In the morning, 7 a.m., Crawfordsville to Kokomo and Peru, a very thin band where we may see a little rain-snow mix. That scoots to the east along a cold front and leaves by mid to late morning in eastern Indiana. We'll be left with a lot more clouds through the day tomorrow. Planning your Saturday. By noon, we're at 42. We'll call it mostly cloudy.
RTV6 is working for you, getting answers about a new proposed addiction rehab center planned for Morgan County. People who live in the area say they are not against having services like this, but they don't want it next door to their home or close to their child's school. RTV6's Nicole Griffin is getting answers to concerns residents share.
North Madison Elementary School is just over a mile away from the proposed addiction treatment center. That's about a 3-minute drive. But parents and others who live around this area that we're hearing from say that is too close, and they do not want this treatment center moving into their neighborhood.
My main concern is what's going to happen with all these kids here at the school. And I support a facility like this 100%, but I would be more for it in a more secluded area. They can't call that secluded because it's a shared driveway with houses all the way around it.
On 14 acres just off of Man Road in Mooresville, Skycam 6 is getting a view from above of the property where Addiction Rehab Center hopes to open a new private residential facility. The Morgan County Board of Zoning Appeals recently denied the center's request to have 16 beds, but the planning director says the Fair Housing Act allows group homes in residential areas, and the facility can have 10 beds. Parents are worried that the center, which would treat people with substance abuse disorders, is too close to homes with children in North Madison Elementary.
You can't say that there aren't going to be some issues, and I'm just, really concerned about my children that attend the school.
We're happy to have people get help. Obviously, we don't want that in our backyard. There's also a lot of fire safety concerns. The driveway is only 8 feet wide. The driveway is 650 feet off of this main road.
If Addiction Rehab Center moves forward, once the property closes, they will need to meet state requirements when it comes to the fire codes and the septic system, since they are increasing occupancy. We requested an on-camera interview with the Addiction Rehab Center, but a spokesman says they were too busy helping patients at their Eagle Creek location in Indianapolis. In response to concerns about the safety of students near the facility, the spokesman says they do not accept sex offenders or correctional referrals and have an in-depth vetting process. The reason they chose Morgan County is because they say there are very little services in the area. Working for you in Morgan County, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And according to a state database, there are 2 other addiction treatment facilities in Mooresville and 4 in Martinsville. The latest stats from the state health department show 88 people have died between 2013 and 2017 in Morgan County. That is the 22nd highest county in the state. We've asked when the property is set to close, but the treatment center declined to respond. Mooresville Community Schools released this statement saying district officials have been monitoring the facility proposal and related information. We always have the safety of children in mind. We are relying on our county officials to thoroughly review the proposed facility to ensure it meets necessary safety standards our community expects.
An autopsy confirms the cause of death for a woman found with an 8-foot-long python wrapped around her neck. The coroner says Laura Hurst died from strangulation by a snake. Wednesday night, police found Hurst dead in a house in Oxford, Indiana. The house is owned by the Benton County Sheriff and was renovated specifically to hold a collection of snakes. In fact, there were about 140 snakes in the house at the time of Hurst's death. Investigators say Hurst, who was from Battleground, Indiana, owned 20 of the snakes and usually visited the house twice a week. One person is dead after an early morning collision involving a moped and another vehicle in the southern part of Franklin County in Johnson County. A driver rear-ended the moped on US 31 just south of the Hilltop Motel. The sheriff says a vehicle in front of the car that hit the moped had just shifted lanes, and the driver says he didn't see the moped driving close to the yellow line until it was too late. The man on the moped was identified as 50-year-old Matthew Aaron Fry of Franklin. The sheriff says the other driver is cooperating with investigators.
Downtown Indy is in for a major sprucing up, and you can thank the street ambassadors. You'll notice people downtown wearing yellow jackets with brooms and other cleaning items in hand. They have been hired as street ambassadors by Downtown Indy, Inc. They are focusing on making the city attractive to residents, businesses, and visitors. The pilot program just launched due to concerns about the lack of cleanliness and safety, especially in the wholesale district. Leaders say with more and more people living downtown, something needed to be done.
This is very important for downtown. We compete with other cities across the country for talent acquisition and economic development, so it's so important that our streets are clean, they're attractive.
I think the last time we were down here a few months ago, it was not incredibly pleasant, but I've noticed that there's been a good improvement, and it seems to me to be a cleaner, more like family-friendly environment.
The street ambassadors were hired through Healthy Veterans and Families, which works to end homelessness. As the program grows, they will also receive Visit Indy's hospitality training and work with police to report any dangerous behavior they encounter.
President Trump and his allies are doubling down now that the House Democrats have voted to allow public hearings in the impeachment inquiry. This, as a new ABC News Washington Post poll shows, the country is sharply divided over impeachment. ABC's Inez de la Cuatera explains what comes next.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi telling Bloomberg she expects public hearings to begin as soon as this month.
What the president did vis-a-vis the president of Ukraine just removed all doubt that we had to act upon that.
The open hearings will be part of a new phase in the impeachment inquiry that House Democrats formally approved on Thursday as they continue to investigate whether the president committed an impeachable offense when he repeatedly urged the Ukrainian leader to investigate his 2020 political opponent.
I'm concerned that if the Democratic Congress continues to obsess about one issue, it's to the exclusion of everything else.
White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham trying to discredit the probe on Fox, calling it a stupid scam, though she wouldn't rule out possibly participating in the inquiry.
If they're going to have different rules and move the goalposts all the time, then that's just not a fair process.
Both the House and the public remain sharply divided when it comes to impeachment. According to a new ABC News Washington Post poll, 49% of Americans say the president should be impeached and removed from office, and 47% say he should not be.
For the middle of the road people like me, it's tough to say, it's tough watching it every day.
To show the public he did nothing wrong, President Trump now floating the idea of holding a fireside chat in which he would read the log of his phone call with Ukraine's president aloud. Earlier this week, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, who was on that call, reportedly testified some lines from the conversation were left out of the call's rough transcript released by the White House. The Trump campaign hoping to get a boost from all of this, saying it raised $3 million online on the day of the impeachment vote. Inez de la Cuatera, ABC News, Washington.
There's now one less Democrat in the race to unseat President Trump in 2020. Beto O'Rourke just announced he's dropping his presidential bid. O'Rourke had been struggling to break through a crowded Democratic field. He entered the race in March with buzz from his narrow 2018 Senate loss to Republican incumbent Ted Cruz in Texas. But as the excitement over his candidacy began to fade, O'Rourke was forced to stage a reintroduction of his campaign to reinvigorate it.
Good news for drivers on the Indianapolis west side. The Oliver Avenue Bridge over the White River just southwest of downtown has reopened. The bridge, which opened in 1925, was closed in February for a $1.1 million rehabilitation. That includes a new deck and sidewalks. The Indianapolis Department of Public Works says some additional work on the bridge will be done next year, but without closing travel lanes.
And expect traffic adjustments this weekend as road crews work to get last-minute projects done before winter. All lanes of I-465 northbound between 38th Street and 56th Street will close tonight at 10 and reopen at 6 a.m. Monday. Tomorrow, I-69 southbound from 116th Street to 82nd Street will be down to one lane. And I-65 southbound and northbound will be down to one lane from 465 to 30th Street all day Saturday and Sunday. There are also several other lane closures plus ramp closures to be aware of this weekend. We will have those posted on our website.
Chicago officials are not only disturbed by what happened on Halloween, they are thoroughly disgusted. A young girl out trick-or-treating struck by bullets. The latest on what happened and who police are looking for tonight.
Also ahead here at 7, would you be willing to get the flu on purpose and get paid for your efforts? We just might have the job for you.
RTV6 is working for you.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
And frightening news out of Chicago. A 7-year-old girl out trick-or-treating gets hit by a stray bullet.
She's now in critical condition and police are hunting for the suspects involved. ABC's Trevor Ault has the details tonight.
Today, a 7-year-old Chicago girl is clinging to life. Authorities saying she was shot in the chest while trick-or-treating in Southwest Chicago Halloween night. The city's police superintendent now furious but determined.
So I'm disgusted but committed to doing everything we can to find the cowards that would engage in a gun battle in the early evening hours while children were trick-or-treating.
Investigators say the girl was hit by a stray bullet. The shots fired around 5:30 in the midst of the Halloween rush. The attack believed to have been an act of gang violence.
A group of guys want to shoot at another male while there's a street full of kids trick-or-treating.
Other residents living in that neighborhood, Chicago's Little Village, saying they're scared at the continued violence around them.
I just don't feel safe. Like, our kids can't enjoy the things we used to.
Chicago police have confirmed one person, a juvenile, is in custody in this case, but they still say there's multiple people they're searching for who they believe are involved. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
More than 25,000 Chicago teachers returned to school after an 11-day strike. Chicago Public Schools and the Chicago Teachers Union reached a tentative contract agreement Thursday. Some of the terms include staffing increases, including more social worker positions, which will allow for one to be placed in every school. Some other terms, 250 more nursing positions by the end of the contract, and $35 million a year to reduce oversized K-12 classrooms. Chicago is the nation's third largest school system with 300,000 public school students.
If you had measles as a child, your body might not remember it, and that could cause complications later in life. We'll explain coming up here.
High temperatures today in the 40s. That's after our very cold start. How these numbers change for the weekend and then when temperatures return to the 50s.
Rain.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 7. This consumer alert, Nestle is recalling some of its cookie dough products because of possible rubber contamination. The recall covers some easy-to-bake refrigerated Nestle Toll House cookie dough bars, along with tubes and tubs that were sold in the United States and Puerto Rico. So far, no illnesses or injuries have been reported from the recalled products. If you have one of the items affected, the company said to throw it away, but keep your proof of purchase and contact Nestle Consumer Services.
Getting the measles virus could effectively wipe out much of your body's immune system. Researchers from Harvard Medical School looked at blood samples from children both before and after getting measles. They found measles caused what they call immune amnesia. This means the virus wiped out other protective antibodies that could prevent more disease down the road. And patients are more at risk for catching other viral and bacterial infections. In fact, the immune amnesia is so serious, experts suggest getting new booster shots for polio, tuberculosis, and hepatitis after after a bout of measles.
You can turn a sick day into a payday. Scientists from the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases are infecting people with influenza A, the famous H1N1 virus, for research purposes. If you participate in the study, you'll get paid up to $3,300. Researchers want to closely monitor the symptoms to better understand how the virus works and how to control it. Brave participants will receive a nasal spray with a strain of the flu and then begin an inpatient stay for at least a week. They are looking for 80 healthy adults between 18 and 50 years old. Trial sites are in Maryland, North Carolina, Missouri, and Ohio. Results are expected in May 2020.
More and more adults are getting diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. That's according to a new study released today. The rate of adults facing an ADHD diagnosis has climbed significantly over the last decade. In fact, 43% more adults were diagnosed with the disorder over a 10-year period. Researchers say it's likely the clinical community now realizes ADHD isn't just a childhood issue, and the rise in cases is because it's being diagnosed more often, not because cases are increasing. More than 7 hours a day. That, on average, is how much time a U.S. teenager spends on screen media for entertainment. Researchers at Common Sense Media say screen time has inched up by 42 minutes a day since 2015. The study says tweens spend nearly 5 hours looking at screens. Both groups, teens and tweens, spend most of their time looking at video games or TV shows.
I know I spend a lot of time still. More and more scrolling.
The times we live in, right? Another screen, right, yes.
Keep looking at the screen.
All right, let's go for the big screening of our weekend forecast and beyond. Temperatures will spike early next week. Okay, we hit rock bottom this morning with that record-tying 24 degrees. We're in the 40s tomorrow and Sunday, but temperatures do make it into the 50s for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, before we cool down again at the end of next week. Off to the north and west, another cold front that will ensure temperatures tomorrow struggle to get to the mid-40s, but it may also bring a little rain and snow in a thin band through central and northern Indiana tomorrow morning. Temperature right now 37 in Marion, 1 degree cooler up in Cass County. Logansport's at 36, 40 as you can see in Frankfort. Temperatures to the south made a nice recovery. We were all in the 20s this morning. It has not been as windy, and sunshine helps a lot. That sunshine got temperatures at least 20 degrees warmer from the morning low. Tomorrow morning, not as cold, still below freezing, but generally around the 30-degree mark. Looking at the weekend, the chance for rain at your house mixing with some snow, only about 20%. Don't change any of your weekend plans. Second half of the weekend, temperature bounces closer to the 50-degree mark. 7 a.m., sharp cloud line moving in, and then you see from Crawfordsville up toward Kokomo and Peru, a little band of mixed precip. You may have rain mixing in with some very light snow. That's at 9 o'clock in the morning. Bloomington to Indy to Marion. By 11, off to the east. As we go through the rest of the afternoon, any pop-up showers look to be in the northern third of the state, and we may actually see a few breaks in the cloud cover. There's the wind. Tomorrow it will be more noticeable, gusting again over 20 miles per hour out of the west, and it will be a cool breeze. Remember, these temperatures will be fortunate just to make it to the mid-40s with the stronger west wind through the afternoon and into the evening hours. Headed to football game tomorrow, 39 at kickoff in West Lafayette, and the chance for showers is there while you're tailgating in the morning. Afternoon shower can't be ruled out in South Bend. The kickoff at 2:30. A night game, a dry game, 40 degrees down in Bloomington at kickoff time. Sunday temperatures for us with a little more sunshine, warm close to 50 during the afternoon hours, and any shower chances probably hold off until the middle of next week. Will be dry as we get to Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. High temperatures Sunday, 50 in Rockville, Bloomington, and Columbus. Temperatures only slightly cooler as you go to the north and east. Next week, enjoy the early week warmth. Still below average. Average is our 59-degree high. Temperatures at least 50 degrees or above, though, through Wednesday. Then the temperature is going to drop off a lot as we get to Thursday and Friday of next week. Don't forget to roll your clock back 1 hour tomorrow night when you go to bed. Sunday will seem endless. That extra hour, it always makes a bigger difference than you think.
What if I roll it back 2?
Then you're really going to be rested as you come into work. Next week, as you can see, temperatures fall off into the 30s again for highs Thursday and Friday. But that extra hour, it'll be nice.
Yeah, it will be nice. So use it, enjoy it, right?
Yes, no, you can have a whole extra hour. What could we do?
Sleep. We'll be right back.
DirecTV bundle.
Well, Chick-fil-A may have ruffled a few feathers with its latest promotion. The company is saying, oops, after promoting National Sandwich Day, urging loyal customers to stock up on their favorite chicken sandwich. The problem is National Chicken Sandwich is this Sunday, and Chick-fil-A stores are closed on Sundays. Chick-fil-A eventually corrected the error by sending another email apologizing for the confusion.
And it's the meal that has made kids happy for 4 decades. The McDonald's Happy Meal is celebrating its 40th anniversary. And to mark the milestone, McDonald's is bringing back some old school Happy Meal toys. Beanie Babies, the Hamburglar, and Power Rangers are just some of the retro toys that'll be making a comeback. If you want to grab one, you better act fast. The toy lineup returns November 7th through the 11th. I kind of just want to go order a Happy Meal to get
I'm all in.
toys.
Do it.
I think I'm going
Road
to.
trip, we got a little time between now and the 11 o'clock news. Temperatures, they'll fall into the 30s, should be low 30s by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. That little thin blue line that cuts through central Indiana tomorrow may bring us a little rain-snow mix in the morning. Afternoon temperature, optimistically, at about 45 degrees.
Optimistically.
What is that supposed to mean?
That means we might get there, maybe. Thanks for joining us here at 7.
We'll see you at 11. Good night.